Hello, my name is Anita Cegers-Coleman. I teach in Conway Public Schools at Ruth Doyle Middle School, and I teach 7th grade coding block and app creation. My assignment was with Central Arkansas Water, which is a metropolitan water system that serves almost 500,000 Arkansans. I participated in interviews on Zoom with workers from Central Arkansas Water as well as from L'Oreal and Reynolds. Important skills often mentioned during the interviews were problem solving, creative thinking, communication skills, accurate measuring, safety, and the importance of being able to adapt to technology. Two specific staff members I interviewed from CAW are John Finnegar and Joe Ginn. John is a GIS database coordinator, and some of his duties include, but are not limited to, creating, modifying, and maintaining databases, analyzing map data layers to answer questions like total miles of pipe in the system or number of service locations with a spatial boundary, and he provides setup and support for iPads and iPad users. Joe Ginn is an information services technician, and some of his job duties include troubleshooting computer and server problems, setting up printers and phones, and everything in between. Since my students create apps, I asked Joe if there were a mobile app that he could use to help with his job, what features would it have and what would he want it to do? His response was an app that would be a quick guide to commands for computer programs they use. So for the unit I was supposed to teach my students, one big question is what should students know or be able to do at the end of the unit? So during the 7-week course, students can create an app that helps solve a real-world problem. So they needed basic navigation in MIT App Inventor, which is the website where they create the apps, and they needed text-based programming features to create applications, good knowledge of those text-based programming features. What evidence will convince you that they got there? When students complete tasks of increasing difficulty regarding app creation and text-based coding, they're using problem-solving skills, and they are demonstrating that their apps work properly by testing and revising and analyzing the designs as needed. I help them get there by questioning and having class discussions. They have videos, and I demonstrate for them what to do through guided practice. After participating in Strive, I used pre-test and post-test to gather data about my students' awareness of STEM skills. After learning about backward design in Strive, my students now submit their answers to 2 questions during the 2nd week of the course. What is a task, problem, issue, or situation that you could solve with the help of an app you create, and what features should the app include? They may work on the app all throughout the course instead of it being a culminating activity. So here are a few actual app examples from my students. This one is for homework and chore reminders, an activity scheduler, and some more reminders, because these are real world problems for our 7th graders as well as everyone else who has a busy schedule. Because of the Strive interviews, I've also been able to inform my students that being able to use Office programs is even more important in the business world, because Office programs are used instead of Google in so many fields. I enjoyed watching the interviews and hearing how the things I teach are relevant in the workplace. Some employees talked about which positions were essential enough to physically report to work versus those who could remotely work and meet virtually as needed, especially in earlier stages of the current pandemic. Several interviewees commented about how much they used Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and/or Teams on their jobs. I got a better idea of many positions that are required to make a business run smoothly. I learned about what education, skills, and training are required, and which companies provide tuition reimbursement programs for further education for their staff. Guest speaking opportunities and increased community relations are definitely a possibility from gaining the business partners that we did through the program. Strive alumni/mentors were extremely helpful in clarifying expectations for what we as Strive participants were required to do. UALR staff scaffolded our thinking and equipped us to delve into the coursework. Many thanks to the Strive staff at UALR for being more than understanding and modifying their expectations for what we were to implement in our classes during the pandemic. I'm grateful for the community of practice that I'm now a part of with my mentors and fellow Strive teachers. If you're considering Strive or anything else in your life that may be new or seem challenging at first, keep in mind that you never know what you can do until you try, by C.S. Lewis. And if you do not try, you cannot fail, but neither can you succeed.